Welcome back to Switzer on Australia's Business Channel. Now, we hear time and time again about the power of Google, but few businesses understand how to have a relationship with the search behemoth. A decade ago, search companies were faceless digital spaces that only the special few knew how to leverage off. Not anymore. Google is aggressively promoting its services to small businesses. Kate Conroy is Google's product specialist for AdWords. She joins me now in our studio here in Sydney. It's great to have you on board, Kate. Thank you for coming in. We did and ah a little bit about this segment because the online advertising space is a very competitive one. But there are many small businesses who know, everyone knows what Google is, they know how to search on Google, but the idea that it's an advertising space is often lost on them. So I thought we'd get you on board here to walk us through what Google AdWords are, how they work. Google is not just search, Kate.
Yes, absolutely. So Google is a way to get your business online, but in a number of ways. So that might mean having your website show up in the search results on Google, or it might mean putting an ad on Google, or it might mean having your business show up on the map on Google Maps. So there's a lot of different ways of having your business engage with the search engine, and then having it be found by those thousands of people who are looking for it.
Using it.
Yeah.
Many businesses say, right, I want an ad on Google. They can't have an ad on Google unless they have a website. Your data and data we've had here at Sky News Business show a lot of Aussie businesses who don't have a website.
Yeah, we were actually quite surprised ourselves to find that 2/3 of Australian businesses don't have a website right now.
2/3?
2/3, yeah. So I guess what really surprised us is we get so many people who are looking for small businesses every day. You know, if you're a hairdresser or a bakery or a chemist or a florist, we get more searches for those kinds of businesses every day than we get for, say, Britney Spears. So it's a very large volume of searches, but then on the flip side, we have so many businesses who are kind of invisible to those people who are looking for them because they don't have a website.
Now, there are many ways to get a website. You don't have to have a website with Google, but acknowledging the market void there, you have teed up with MYOB. We've got a little clip here, the Get Online site. There's some overlay we've put together that shows the website you've set up to encourage small businesses to investigate a website. This is Get Aussie Businesses Online. Tell me about this initiative.
Yeah, so when we went out and kind of investigated with small business owners in more detail, you know, what is stopping you getting online? And one of the things they identified is they said, look, you know, it's expensive and it takes a lot of time, you know, and I really don't have, you know, either the marketing budget to blow thousands on a website or the time to, you know, spend hours learning HTML by myself. So we said, well, how can we fix this problem? So we teamed up with MYOB, who's, you know, a great friend to a lot of Australian small businesses, and created the Getting Australian Businesses Online, which lets you create a free website and also to get a free URL as well. So obviously if you're something like Bob's Plumbing, you want a URL that's, you know, bobsplumbing.com.au. So the program gives you that URL and you can create the website yourself, and it costs nothing, takes about 15 minutes.
Okay. And it's relatively easy to set up?
Yeah, so even if you're someone who still types with 2 fingers, you could do this.
Okay.
If you can fill in a form, all you need is your ABN number and then just some basic details about your business, and hopefully a few nice photos would help as well.
As they say in the classics, nothing in this world is for free. There is an opportunity for that 2 years to trial the website, and then Google provides a service where you can have an ongoing relationship with where the website is hosted.
Yeah. So
how does that work?
It's free for the first year. After that, it costs $5 just to continue the hosting of that website.
$5 a month?
A month, yep. And then after 2 years, you need to pay $30 to have your domain name, so your URL renewed. But other than that, that's all the cost involved.
$5 a month, and then that $30 is an annual fee?
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years to have the domain name registered. Okay, we've got a clip here, Cakes by Nadia. It's only a short clip, but shows you an example there, Kate, of what one of the basic websites can look like. We see the name, see a little bit of information, we see a map there, a couple of pictures have been loaded up. How long would it have taken that proprietor to build that website?
About 15 minutes, yeah.
About 15 minutes.
She's actually got some extra photos on there, so it might have taken a little bit. She's really put a lot of effort in, the owner of this business.
That's right, not to dismiss that. Cakes by Nadia, it's a nice website, but it is a simple website.
Yeah, exactly. So if you only added like 2 or 3 pictures, 15 minutes would be fine. In her case, I think she's added something like 50 pictures.
Right.
So
which makes sense for a business where the visuals are so crucial. Now, Nadia has her Kate website, and she wants to have more people come to it. Now, there are numerous services where you can apply search engine optimization, which is a fancy word for having more people find you online. Is that a service that Google offers? Do you offer search engine optimization, or do you need to take a step back and have that arm's length, I suppose?
Yeah, so search engine optimization, sometimes you hear it referred to as SEO. It can get confusing with a lot of acronyms out there. Search engine optimization is not something that Google does for you.
Right.
There are some basic kind of rules of search engine optimization that anybody can do. So that's things like having clear, concise information on your website, and not doing things like copying and pasting chunks from Wikipedia, for example. And just having good navigation on your website, those kinds of things. If you really want to take it up a level, then you can engage like an agency or a search engine optimization consultant to go through a website if you have one, and really get down to the details. But to be honest, if you just stick to those basic rules, then you're usually pretty okay.
Okay. The next step is AdWords, which you're the product specialist for AdWords with Google, so businesses will be hanging off your every word. Once someone has a website presence, they need to be found, and that's search engine optimization is one way, Google AdWords is another. What on earth is an AdWord?
It's a good question, actually. So AdWords just means ads on a search engine, in this case Google. So if you go to Google today and you do a search, let's say you search for a plumber in Melbourne or something like that, across the top of the screen on a yellow background and down the right-hand side, you'll see some ads. So those are paid ads on a search engine.
All right, we've dummied up a little bit of this that we can show you now. Plumber in Fitzroy, Melbourne, we search on that term. We then see in a yellow box on the right-hand corner ads. Now they're Google AdWords. On the right-hand side, we see a column. Kate, walk us through what we're seeing there.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that right-hand side, you're seeing a number of ads. All of these are ads that have been purchased, I guess, by plumbers in Melbourne, and they've identified a particular word they want to show on. Here we have someone searching for cake shops in Sydney for wedding cake shops. And so again, we're seeing ads on the top, on the yellow background. Some of those ads are tied to a map on the right-hand side. And then again, underneath, additional ads for people who have said, when somebody searches for keywords related to wedding cakes, I want my ad to show.
Okay. So the ad is not determined by space on the site, it's determined by what's searched.
Yeah, exactly. So you basically, when you get an AdWords ad, you buy keywords that you want your ad to show on. So, if you're a plumber, you might run on keywords like plumber Fitzroy, but also more specific things like hot water repair or dishwasher installation, for example. So there's lots of keywords that will apply to... Exactly. We've all had those.
Now, if they're popular keywords, does it cost more to use them? How does it work?
Yeah, so in terms of paying for AdWords, we only charge when someone clicks on your ad. So it's free to show up on the search engine. When somebody clicks on your ad and comes through to your website, we charge you what we call a cost per click.
Right.
Now that cost per click is affected by two things. The first one is the level of competition, as you said. So if it's a popular keyword, if there are a lot of plumbers who want to buy the keyword plumbing Melbourne, then because it's an auction system, that will affect it. The other one is you can set a cap on how much you want to pay. So you can say, no matter what, I don't want to pay more than 50 cents per click, right? And we'll never go over that. It may mean that if it's a very competitive keyword, you might show a little lower down in the results.
Right. So there's a complex algorithm that determines where your ad shows and how far up it is in that list.
Yes.
Okay.
So we put our best nerds on that.
Okay, that's right. We'll leave that to the technical. If someone has an AdWords account, How does that work? If, for example, all of a sudden you have 1 million people click on your ad, do all of a sudden you get a huge bill at the end of it?
So we give people control over their budget by letting them set a daily cap. So let's say, for example, that the average cost per click that you're paying is $1 per click. You could set a daily cap of $10, and after you'd had 10 clicks, we would just stop showing your ad for that day and start you again the next way. So that way you can kind of forecast in advance, the maximum cost that you're going to pay. So if you have a set marketing budget, you can stick to it.
But within that, Kate, do you get billed post-service, or do you load up an account online? How does that work?
Yeah, so you can actually choose how you want to pay. You can give us a credit card and we'll bill you later, or you can top it up with BPay, kind of like buying mobile phone credit, and then just kind of run that down. Yeah.
Right. What is the future of online advertising? Is this the new way for online businesses, or businesses who have an online presence, to be found? What will the future look like, Kate?
I think the future will cover a lot more of that kind of search turning up in other places. Probably one of the biggest trends we're seeing is people using smartphones to search. So on a desktop or a laptop computer, we get about 1/5 of our searches are people looking for something local, and often that's a small business. But on a mobile phone, it's 1/3 of all searches. So when people have their mobile phone out, they really are looking for, the hairdresser that's just down the road, or the travel agent that's around the corner. So I think we'll definitely see a big increase coming from mobile.
One of the other key features on Google's Maps, and over the last few years, search terms come up often with maps. So if you search for plumber Fitzroy, a map will come up.
Yeah.
Tell me how a business gets themselves on that map, particularly on the first page of a search.
Yeah. So as you've identified, maps are really important for small businesses because they're usually working from a brick and mortar store. So the part of maps that lets you list your business is called Google Places, and you can do it for free. So if you have a business that has a physical location, then you can just go to the Google Places website. Again, it's actually sort of even quicker. It might take 8 to 10 minutes to get yourself on there.
For nothing?
For nothing, yeah. Well, we have users who are kind of, as I said, we have thousands of users who are looking for these small businesses, and so we'd really like for them to be there so we can help the users find what they're looking for.
Can you combine that with AdWords?
Yes, so you can definitely, and we would recommend any small business that has a physical location should be on Google Places because it's free. If you have the marketing budget to also do some ads, you can include that map link in your ad as it shows on Google as well. So you can write a creative that says why somebody would choose your business over your competitors, and have a map link used as well. It's called a location extension. A location extension.
We've debunked a whole lot of myths tonight, which is great. If small business teams are meeting tomorrow morning after watching this and want to know the first handful of steps to getting their ads on Google, how do they do that?
Yeah, so I would say the first thing to start with is, do we have a website? These days it's as essential as having a phone. So if you don't have a website, you can try out the Getting Australian Businesses Online program to get one for free. And then if you do have a website, the next question is, how do you drive people to it? So getting yourself listed in Google Places and trying out some AdWords marketing is a great way to get that additional traffic.
You could do it for $100?
You could sign up for AdWords, you could put $100 credit in there and see how you go.
See how you go. Kate, you have debunked a lot of myths. You've helped us get a better understanding of what Google AdWords is. Small businesses will be grateful. We're grateful. Thank you for your time today. Kate Conroy from Google. After the break.